Today I'm firing up the Kamado Joe and cooking one of the most iconic cuts of beef there is, the mighty T-bone steak. I'm Dave, and this is Austin's Kamado Joe Masterclass. With its perfect combination of tender filet and flavorful New York strip steak, separated by the signature T-bone, this cut delivers the best of both worlds. In this video, I'll show you how to reverse sear a T-bone steak Texas style for incredible flavor and a perfect crust. We'll start low and slow to bring the steak up to temperature, then finish it over high heat in a cast iron skillet. The result is a T-bone that's perfectly cooked with a wonderful crust. And it's all done inside my Kamado Joe. Let me explain how a reverse sear works. The old method was to sear a steak and cook it until it was done. With that approach, the outside of the steak was subjected to high heat while the interior came up to the desired temperature. The result was a gray band of overcooked meat between the crust and the center of the steak. With a reverse sear, the interior of the meat is cooked first and the crust is created at the end. The steak is first cooked low and slow at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The internal temperature is brought up evenly until the inside is close to the target temperature. After a brief rest, the steak is seared in a hot cast iron skillet with a little beef tallow. Because the steak is already close to the target temperature, the crust forms quickly. If you've seen my video on how to cook a steak without a grill, you already know what a hot cast iron skillet can do for a piece of beef. Today we're taking that same technique and doing it inside the Kamado Joe. The T-bone gives you two great steaks in one cut. On one side of that bone is the New York strip. Firm, well-marbled, beefy. On the other, the tenderloin. Small, more delicate, and mild. When cooking a T-bone, thickness matters. You want a steak at least 1 inch thick, ideally 1 1/4 inches. Any thinner and you lose the ability to cook the interior slowly without overshooting your target temperature. A thicker steak gives you more control. An hour before you cook, pat the surface of the steak completely dry with a paper towel. A dry surface is critical for the sear. A moist surface will steam. A dry surface will sear. For seasoning, kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. Not fine ground, coarse. Apply the seasoning to both sides of the steak, but season the tenderloin side a little bit lighter than the strip side. The tenderloin is delicate and doesn't need the same amount of salt. Set up the Kamado Joe for indirect heat at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using hardwood lump charcoal and have the heat deflector plates in place. The ceramic heat deflectors separate the steak from the fire and converts the Kamado Joe into a convection oven, hot air circulating evenly around the steak from all angles. Set your bottom vent open about 1 inch and the control tower top vent open about 1/4 inch. When the grill stabilizes at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, let it heat soak for about 20 minutes before cooking. That's critical. The ceramic walls need to soak up that heat and get to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. When the grill is ready, place the steak on the center of the grate and insert your probe thermometer in the thickest part, away from the bone. A probe placed near the bone will give you a false reading. Close the dome and let the steak cook. With an ambient temperature of 250 degrees Fahrenheit, a 1 inch T-bone is going to take about 15 minutes to reach 115 degrees Fahrenheit internal. 1 1/4 inch steak will take about 25 minutes. During this first part of the cook, the internal temperature of the steak will climb slowly and uniformly. No crust is forming yet. That happens during the reverse sear. When your probe reads 115 degrees Fahrenheit, remove the steak from the grill. Place it on a cutting board and tent it loosely with foil. Allow the steak to rest for 10 minutes, which is exactly how long you need to reconfigure the Kamado Joe for direct high heat. So move fast. At the end of the video, check out my new cookbook, The Texas Backyard Kitchen, Complete Meals from Fire to Table. It's part barbecue book for the Kamado Joe and part go-to cookbook for every other day of the week. A link is in the description and pinned comment. Use high heat gloves to carefully remove the deflector plates. I like to place them on an empty foil pan to cool. Now open both vents, bottom vent fully open, control tower top vent fully open. The goal is to get the ambient temperature up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. On a Kamado Joe, this happens fast. The coals are already lit and the ceramic walls are already warm. The grill will be at 500 degrees Fahrenheit in 8 to 10 minutes. Place your cast iron skillet directly on the grate and let it preheat as the grill comes up to temperature. I'm using a Smithy 10-inch cast iron skillet for this sear. It has thick walls and holds temperature exceptionally well. It also has a smooth bottom, which I really like. The steak will be in contact with the entire bottom surface. That's how you get a full edge-to-edge crust, the kind that adds real flavor and texture to every single bite. I use a skillet instead of a half-moon cast iron griddle because I like to sear in beef tallow. A skillet keeps the tallow contained, but on a half-moon skillet, the tallow runs off and causes a flare-up. I always use my Smithy cast iron skillet when searing with beef tallow. The link for the Smithy skillet is in the description below and in the pinned comments. Measure the surface of the skillet with a laser thermometer. ThermoWorks makes a nice one with a big circle laser that's easy to see. A link for that is in the description and pinned comment as well. When the skillet reaches 400 degrees Fahrenheit, add 2 tablespoons of beef tallow. Tallow has a high smoke point and adds a lot of flavor. Wait for the tallow to melt and shimmer. When it does, place the steak in the skillet. Let the steak cook for 2 minutes. Don't touch it, don't move it, don't press down on it. When you press down on a searing steak, you squeeze moisture out of the surface and reduce contact with the pan. Just let it sear. After 2 minutes, flip it over and sear the other side. Look at that. That is the Maillard reaction building a delicious crust. Because the inside of the steak was already at temperature, it took just 2 minutes. You're cooking by temperature, not by time. Get your probe back in there. You're looking for 128 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit for medium rare. That accounts for a few degrees of carryover during the final rest. Rest the steak for 3 to 4 minutes. The muscle fibers need a moment to relax. Cut it too soon and the juices end up on your cutting board instead of on the plate. And there you have it, a perfectly cooked reverse seared T-bone steak with a beautiful crust on the outside and a juicy tender center on the inside. Cooking it low and slow before finishing it with a reverse sear delivers an incredible flavor and even doneness edge to edge. Hey, if you try this, leave me a comment and let me know how your steak turned out. I invite you to check out my Kamado Joe Owner's Handbook. This is a 100-plus page book that I've written that covers everything you need to know about operating the Kamado Joe. It includes setup, seasoning, temperature control, troubleshooting, maintenance, and a lot of pro tips and techniques. Hey, if you liked the video, let me know, and please subscribe and turn on notifications. And watch my Kamado Joe 101 playlist right now.